Welcome back. We are continuing with our breaking news coverage. The Constitutional Court has just dismissed the IEC's request to postpone the October local government elections. Let's get you the reaction from the Democratic Alliance. Speak to the party's Siviwe Gwarube joining us from Cape Town. Siviwe, good afternoon. You had wanted this. Are you ready to start campaigning as soon as tomorrow?
Good afternoon, Temegile, and to your viewers. Yes, absolutely. We welcome the decision by the Concourt. We believe it's not just a victory for the Democratic Alliance, but actually a victory for the Constitution. And we are delighted that the Concourt has upheld that decision. And so, yes, we are ready, and we've been saying that ultimately it cannot be on the basis that political parties are not ready to go and campaign safely, that the elections must be postponed. And so we've been ready, and we are ready to take our message to various parts of South Africa in a way that looks after the people of South Africa, so that we don't find ourselves in an unenviable position of an uptick of new infections.
And how do you think canvassing for elections under these extraordinary circumstances is going to alter the way in which South African political parties have gone about it for the better part of almost 30 years?
Yes, absolutely. And I think a lot of the political parties that were opposed to the postponement of the elections were basing those decisions, or they were basing those views on the basis that, big rallies and stadiums are a part and parcel of our political culture, and that we can't essentially reach people with our offer when we can't do that. And the reality, Tembegile, is that perhaps it is high time that political parties really look at alternative ways to engage South Africans, so that we can make sure that as many people as possible are energized to go and cast their votes at the ballot box. And so we think that it will definitely change the way in which we've been doing things, but we don't think it will necessarily be to the disadvantage of the voter. There are multiple ways that you can engage voters. You can do so online, you can do so in socially distanced environments, you can do so outside, and the IEC has also demonstrated in the past with by-elections that they too themselves are able to host elections at voting stations in a way that keeps people safe.
Now, just picking up on your last point, the fact that the DA makes the point that we've already had by-elections that have been successful, and considering the fact that now with the elections, obviously it is more people voting, and if you recall, Judge Musenege in his report, he had actually pointed out what was said by the Ministerial Advisory Committee, that he does not believe that we would have reached that 67% herd immunity for the population in time for those elections. Does it not worry you, the fact that we now know, given our vaccination records, that we have a slow take-up, the fact that we'll have an election in less than, 2 months?
Yeah, look, I think absolutely. It concerns anybody who's generally worried about the country. But this, for me, signifies and signals what we've been saying, that the Department of Health has been lackluster in its approach of rolling out the vaccine. And ultimately, now is the time where we have seen that the capacity has reached to 250,000 to 300,000 vaccinations a day. And so the Department of Health also needs to understand that they're a very critical player when it comes to, in the next 2 months, of making sure that people are inoculated. But at the same time, I think it's important that political parties also view themselves as active players in this process, and that they make sure that they don't put their supporters in danger, that we make sure that we campaign in a way that is responsible. The IEC needs to uphold its end of the bargain, ensuring that there's a free, fair, and a safe election. We've seen in other parts of the world how the world has moved on and started living with COVID-19 alongside this virus. And so we can't put things on hold simply because there is a virus that is likely to be with us for a long time. However, there are things in place that we can put in place to mitigate devastating things like uptick in infections. And the Department of Health needs to understand that they too have a responsibility to make sure that they're doing their job.
Now, Siviwe, this is the outcome that the DA wanted. But we also know that the topic that dominated the news this week were the comments made by the federal chairperson of your council, Helen Zille, suggesting that the justices of the Constitutional Court had leaked information to the ANC. Now, this outcome obviously proves that that was not true. Do you not believe that Helen Zille owes these justices of the Constitutional Court an apology? And also, what will the DA be doing about this?
Look, I think Helen, like any other South African, was perhaps speculating about the reason why the ANC had withdrawn its court case to compel registering of those candidates. And ultimately, I mean, the reality here is that this is a victory now for the Constitution, and for me, it proves that the Constitutional
statements,
Court...
though, Siviwe,
Excuse
given
me?
her position in the party and the fact that she's also a former leader of the party and the fact that she also has a huge, over 1 million followers on Twitter.
No, absolutely, and I think perhaps then it will be something that she would have to really interrogate with herself, and perhaps even say to South Africans that in fact she was proven wrong. But what I am saying is that I think that she was possibly speculating, and she was then wrong, because the Constitutional Court has reached a very different outcome. And so, like I said, I think that the outcome for today has been proven that the Constitutional Court has upheld the values of the Constitution. And if Helen was wrong about that, then that's something that she has to admit to.
Siviwe Gwarube, member of the Democratic Alliance, giving us the party's reaction then to the announcement by the Constitutional Court that judgment out this afternoon that the local government elections must go ahead within a matter of weeks, actually.